The year is 1952, and the city of Baltimore is about to inherit one of the most legendary African-American business minds of all time. His name is Raymond V. Haysbert. Now, Mr. Haysbert is tried and battle-tested. He grew up in obscure poverty in Cincinnati, Ohio, but he didn't let that stop him or have an excuse. He takes his talent to Wilberforce University, snapping up a degree in accounting. He also served as one of the Tuskegee Airmen in World War II, and serves magnificently, helping the United States and other powers win that war. So let's go back to him going to Baltimore. He was recruited by another legendary businessman, Henry G. Parks, becoming first an accountant and office manager of Parks Sausage Company. And then again, at some point in the future, he will become the CEO. But what's so special about Raymond V. Haysbert? Well, Raymond V. Haysbert does something that many black business people wouldn't do today. Instead of going to New York City or Washington, D.C. or out west, Raymond V. Haysbert stays in Baltimore until the end of his life, keeping all his talent in Black America. But enough about him. We'll come back to him a little bit later. Let's talk about Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders is very similar to Raymond V. Haysbert. He grows up also in extreme poverty, but his talent takes him to Florida State. He becomes a two-time Super Bowl winning champion, playing defense and offense, and then also becoming a first ballot Hall of Famer. But his career doesn't stop there. He's also a dynamite coach, and his impact on the game is larger than ever. Even so, when he came to Jackson, Mississippi, he had this effect.
The JSU Tigers brought in nearly $6 million during their rivalry game against Southern. Over this past weekend, Jackson State made history with the help of Coach Deion Sanders. The Tigers were back in the spotlight. More than 50,000 people attended the Boombox Classic, and the stands were filled to capacity. This type of turnout left a huge impact on the school as well as the city.
It's great for Jackson State University because they get the chance to capitalize on their revenue they receive from ticket sales and from concession stands, but also recruiting the national attention that they got this weekend with ESPN Game Day being right here in the capital city. You can't put a price tag on that. So students and potential students for generations to come saw that, got a chance to see not only Jackson, but really take a look at Jackson State University.
He starts selling out games as Jackson State starts winning. He builds a program, recruiting top talent, people like Travis Hunter, snagging them away from Power 5 schools like Florida State. And the rest is starting to be history. But stop the show. The University of Colorado comes knocking on his door, and they have a better opportunity. And with some situations going on between Deion Sanders and the administration, Deion decides to go to University of Colorado. And for a school that only won one game in 2022, Deion has already won 3 games in the first 3 games. But here's also the case. Deion has this effect on Boulder, Colorado.
Buzz around the Buffs and Coach Prime isn't just drawing a lot of attention here in Colorado, it's also bringing in millions of dollars to our local economy.
Denver 7's Christian Lopez spoke with Boulder businesses today that say they are thrilled CU has found a formula for success. It's a win for everybody.
It was just a perfect football day in a perfect little town.
The CU Buffs home opener was a win, both on and off the field.
As soon as the game got out, you could just feel the energy coming. Everybody was pouring into the streets.
Saturday, the game was early in the morning, so by 2 p.m., things really picked up down here, and happy hour was great and rolled into a really strong early dinner. We're very happy with it.
The Boulder Chamber of Commerce says that weekend alone brought in around $17 million.
Definitely restaurants, retail, hotels, you can just feel that they have been at capacity, they have been cranking.
That's anticipated every time there's a sold-out home game, like the upcoming Rocky Mountain Showdown, where the CU Buffs will take on the CSU Rams.
3-0 come Saturday, though. CSU's in trouble.
As you can see, businesses all along Pearl Street are showing their full support for the CU Buffs and Coach Prime, especially ahead of the big rivalry game this weekend.
Since Pearl Street is primarily small businesses, it's really great that small businesses are directly getting the benefit from all of this excitement that's happening.
Now, as you can see, Deion Sanders does something very different from Mr. Raymond Haysbert. and there's no judgment here, but he takes his talents to greener pastures. Whereas Raymond Haysbert stayed in the black community. And all of Deion's ability and talent that should have been used in Black America has been used to benefit Boulder, Colorado. But what happens when we lose talented black people in Black America? The Honorable late Raymond Haysbert is about to tell us.
When blacks become successful, at times they take their business elsewhere. Do you think this has a causative effect on why black entrepreneurship isn't?
It's got a terrible effect. The item, if you look at it like you do in an economics class, and you say, okay, here's a target population, what are the things affecting their low income and so low availability? One of them is that the black population is not like other racial groups. The money comes in through, say, wages, and then immediately goes out of the community to buy shoes, this, that, and the other thing. Now, that is not singly the only thing, because money, when it circulates, has a multiplier effect. The ratio of the direct money to the total economics is 1.67. What that means is that if we got a $3 billion economy, that with the multiplier effect, we would have a $5 billion economy. And so therefore, that's a drain on the urban area. The second drain is in housing. If the renters, there are more renters in the black population than there are in any other population. Less than 47% own their homes. You say, well, that's interesting. But what it says is that there are hundreds of thousands of checks written every month, and they're not written to the community, because the people who own those houses that you rent in apartment buildings and the rest of them, they're taking all those funds. So there's a loss of funds for development within the community. The third thing, they drain our talent. Those who are able to escape the ghetto get a good education and immediately go to work for Boeing, IBM, Dell, whoever. That drains talent and brain power from that same market. So if you look at it as a market, we've got a lot of challenges. And so therefore the small business person's got a lot of challenges, because he's dealing with people that don't have the money and who won't conserve the money. So, the black consumer therefore gets less for their money, because they should have double duty dollars as the other communities have. That is, you not only get the shoes that you need, but you also bolster your community. We get the shoes, but not the community.
Now I know why you're wondering, why is O'Shea making this video? Is he making this video to begrudge Deion Sanders? I completely have no intention on begrudging or hating on our brother Deion Sanders. He's an inspiration to all of us, including me. And I can understand why he made the decision, knowing the history of Jackson State and many HBCUs in their disorganization. But here's what we're missing out on: the opportunity to keep a lot of our money in the community. And as Raymond Haysbert said, if we were able to do that, we would be able to catch up. Our HBCUs might be able to one day have the same level of funding as other schools, because really we have all the talent and everything that we need. We really don't need them as much as we think we do, because look at what Deion was able to do to Jackson State. We'll always be dealing with a what if situation. What if he stayed there for 10 to 15 years? What could have happened? He could have got a lot of funding from Jackson, and that would have meant more jobs. It could have meant more homes. It could have meant more tourism. It could have meant a lot of development. But because of the miscommunication and dysfunctional behavior of Jackson State, we'll never know. But the key is that I want you to understand, we do have the opportunity. And Raymond Haysbert was a great example of that. He became one of the greatest black CEOs of all time. And still, Park Sausages was a black-owned business. I don't know about now, but he shows us that we can do it. Just because we're African American or because we're black, it doesn't mean that we can't do the business. Obviously, we can do the business. And what Deion is showing, with all the players being black and some of the coaches being black, he doesn't really need Colorado. They need him. And a lot of us as blacks also understand that too. We don't need them. They need us. And once we will be able to do that, then we will be able to have ownership. And once you have ownership, it's quicker to go ahead on and clean up your community and get everybody on board. Then you can create opportunities for your own people and not others. But until we have that respect for each other, it'll never happen. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.